It is the voice of Indiana County. It's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com. We're on the line this morning with Dr. Patrick K. Porter, Ph.D., and we're talking about concussions, and particularly want to focus a little bit on young folks today. Our conversation presented by Marcus and Mack, voted best law firm and best personal injury lawyer 3 years in a row in the Best of Indiana County contest. Visit them online at marcusandmack.com. He's in New Bern, North Carolina, speaking with us this morning. Dr. Porter, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
It's good to have you with us here today as we talk about concussion and its prevalence today. And particularly, as I said, we want to look at young folks. There's this study out now that says 1 in 3 former NFL players believe they have CTE, raising suicide risk and of course, all kinds of different possibilities of problems that they could end up with as they age. And certainly that's a big concern. It's a scary study, really, when you get right down to it. And it makes you wonder about football or any contact sport and what we define as a contact sport as well, does it not?
Yes, you're exactly right. But most people don't realize the biggest concussions happen actually in girls' soccer. So, I mean, it runs the breadth and the length of all sports, because if you're hitting your head on the ground or on another individual, even basketball, people say they're not going to play football, but they're going to play basketball. You hit the hardwood, your brain is like a bowl of jelly. It's like a jelly in a bowl, and it's hitting against the side of your brain, and it's bruising. And we need to look at preventative measures and ongoing care while they're in the sport.
We were talking about that earlier this morning, as a matter of fact, and the fact that when it happens to a young person, the possibilities that the long-term effects could last well into their adulthood and for the rest of their lives, that's a real thing, is it?
Oh yeah, I mean we did a PTSD study with veterans, and we saw the hematoma, or the where the damage was done in the brain 20 years earlier was still in the brain, because if you don't bring blood flow and circulation to the equation, which can happen through some different therapies like cold therapy, red light therapy, brain tap. There's different ways we can activate the brain's neurocircuitry and also create more blood flow. They need to look at solutions that are physiological, not chemical.
Help us understand what a concussion is.
Well, a concussion is when there's no place for the blood flow, the pain in that area to go, because it's locked in. And our brain especially has this. We have a barrier between what gets into the brain and out of the brain. For instance, the concussion is there's a lot of damage in there, like a bruise on your thigh. You might hit when you hit a table or something, get that bruise. Mm-hmm. But imagine you don't have blood flow and circulation in that area because it's protected. So you need to get better sleep so that the brain only opens up and cleans itself out through the gliolymphatic system during level 4 sleep. So one of the side effects of a concussion is you don't sleep well. You might have mood disorders. There's all sorts of things that happen, but it really stems down to the brain trying to rewire around the damage. It's just like a bruise anywhere else in the body, but it actually happens in the brain.
So the healing doesn't really occur. The brain finds a different road to get to where it wants to go.
Yeah, they call it neuroplasticity, and when we're younger, we can do this. You know, if a parent has a child in a sport and you see that their actual attitude has changed, maybe they become more negative, more depressive, more anxious, they're probably suffering from some of these symptoms because the brain is actively working really hard to rewire around that problem area.
Dr. Porter is an expert in brain health and the founder of something called Brain Tap, the leader in technology-enhanced meditation. Dr. Porter, tell me about Brain Tap. What does it do for folks?
Well, Brain Tap is a brain fitness device that helps to create neuroplasticity as well as blood flow and circulation to the brain, and it's simple and easy to use. It's a headset and an app. They can find out more at braintap.com and download some free resources for the family and to learn more about brain function there.
Now, what is brainwave entrainment?
So all of your brain is always entrained to its environment. It's part of the epigenetic system. So when our body either to fight or flee, but it's actually these brain waves. Let's say you get a damage to a region of the brain that has to do with the alpha brainwave, that brainwave becomes silenced, if you will. They might not be able to speak. They might not be able to recall information. That information is still there, but until we activate that brainwave again, just like activating a muscle that's been damaged, when we activate that neurocircuitry, the brain can come back online. The nice thing about our brain is we have proven that even at the age of 100 years old, we can improve brain function with BrainTap. So your brain can improve at any age. It's just a matter of using the newest technology that's out there, using light, sound, and vibration to get the body to respond. And this is a physiological shift, not of course, when your physiology changes, you change your psychology. Just like if you get a head injury, you might have those negative side effects. You can start to upgrade the energy in the brain so that you can start to function at a higher level.
So you were talking a bit a while back about the idea of prevention, and certainly we want to do that. We want to prevent brain injury, and that obviously would help us to have a healthier body going forward. What are some of the ways that we can do that? Because kids aren't going to stop playing basketball. They're not going to stop playing soccer, and certainly football is a huge sport from youth on up.
Yeah, as I mentioned, BrainTap before, but also red light therapy. There's little panels you can use to maybe when you're looking at your emails in the morning, you can use this panel, and it actually acts as sunlight, but it works within the cells. Every cell has a chromophore, which is basically a battery that absorbs light energy. The number one nutrient that people are missing today is light, and our body needs light to function. They've proven this over and over again. That's what seasonal affective disorder is. So when you think about what happens with the brain when it gets this damage, so there's different things you can do, mindfulness meditations. You want to improve your sleep for sure. There are nutrition hacks like, eating more omega-3 fats, especially when you're in the season. Antioxidants, inflammatory foods, go on an inflammatory diet if you've had a concussion. There's a lot of resources online for that. We do this a lot. We did this even when I was in sports in the 70s. We would get in cold plunges and bring down the inflammation in the body. The sooner you can bring down that inflammation, do some breath work. You can even do neurofeedback.
So we might not have thought we were going to go in this direction a little bit earlier when we began this conversation, but it's interesting what you said about light. Here we go into the back to standard time. We're going to turn the clocks back, which means it's going to get dark earlier. And within a month or so, we're going to be dark at 5 o'clock, and it's going to stay dark for a much longer time through the nighttime hours. So it sounds like BrainTap and some of the other therapies you're suggesting would be really good for us to get onto now.
Yes, and especially for those that are having concussive symptoms, you might want to get some blue blocker glasses for the evening. Start wearing them about 6 or 7 o'clock at night because sometimes that irritates the brain. Especially looking at screens. Mm-hmm. If you find that when you're looking at screens you start to get a headache or something like that, it might be the dirty blue light that's on the LCD screens.
So there are actual blue blocker glasses, huh?
Yeah, if they look online, just put in blue blocker glasses. I know Dave Asprey has good pairs, but there's different people out there that sell these. And you can even go to your ophthalmologist now. They sell them. I mean, my ophthalmologist here in New Bern sells them, so I pick them up for my reading glasses at night.
Mm-hmm. Dr. Patrick Porter, our guest here this morning, award-winning author and speaker, founder of BrainTap, leader in technology-enhanced meditation. Tell me about meditation and its benefits beyond those who have been injured.
Well, what you do when you meditate, you start to synchronize the brain. You also get ready. You release all of the neurotropic factors that cause your stress hormones to diminish and your relaxation hormones to stimulate. So basically, a calmer mind, a calmer body, and you start to make decisions because your brain wants to process that information, especially if you haven't slept well. With 2/3 of the world not sleeping, meditation is a way to really optimize your sleep because you're taking 5 or 10 minutes just to relax. You don't even have to think about anything. Just concentrate on your breathing. A good one for the listeners is to breathe into the count of 4, breathe out to the count of 8, and think about things you're grateful for. Mm-hmm. It will shift the way you think about your day.
Meditation is a learned behavior, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. We're taught in America, of course, to go 100% of the time. And what we're showing in brain health is recovery is what's most necessary. I mean, we go, but we're designed to be up when the sun's out, sleep when it's dark. But, of course, we got lights now and TV and 100 and 200 stations, and we can, we have our phones. All these things are actually just keeping us awake longer than we should. We should be sleeping, deep sleep, at least 1 hour a night, 2 hours of REM. And most people don't get. We did a study in Australia where the coal miners only got 1 minute of deep sleep, but they were in bed for 10 hours. So that means it doesn't matter how much time you're in bed. It matters how deep you go into sleep.
Yeah, I get about 4 hours a night, so I'm in deep trouble if I don't turn this around. So Brain Tap, Dr. Patrick K. Porter with us this morning. Where do we learn more?
They can go to braintap.com. They can get a 14-day free trial and try it out. I mean, if they don't like it, just cancel it. By the 14th day, they won't be charged at all. They can see us on all the social media channels, BrainTap Tech or Dr. Patrick Porter, Dr. Patrick Porter on all the social media channels. And we have a lot of free information out there because we're out to better a billion brains. So check it out. It's no cost to you.
He is Dr. Patrick K. Porter. Thanks so much for spending some time with us today.
Okay, thank you.
There you go. It is the voice of Indiana County. It's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com.